Do we feed ourselves at the expense of other species? The history of agriculture dates back 10,000 years. In the early years, they started with the domestication of animals and then the growing of crops. This caused the population to grow and food was higher in demand. Then gradually, people all over the globe started to have agricultural revolutions from new technologies and stopped growing hungry. This occurred because companies started overproducing food, making it cheap. This increased the population as the quality of food decreased. Today we have selective breeding, which allows us to choose the traits of organisms. Since discovering this technology, we have genetically mutated our crops and made them more resistant to pests and much larger, but in the process have decreased the vitamins in them, and an increasing number of people are developing health problems from the food they eat.
Many practices and techniques in agriculture over the last few years are to improve productivity. Changes include tiling, sowing, and harvesting. These have become increasingly mechanized, and fertilizers have become very popular. This is all called intensification. Animal husbandry is selective breeding for desired traits, which was established as a scientific practice. Animal husbandry has been an important aspect of economics throughout the centuries. Techniques such as artificial insemination and embryo transfer are frequently used today. GMOs are another important part of the agricultural revolution, but these play an important role on our environment.
Well, GMOs are a very controversial subject in the whole environmental field because if you think about it, they're genetically modified organisms. These are organisms that are being experimented on, tried to make better, tried to be processed just to make sure that agriculture can grow for the growing population, everything. So in a way, there's a lot of controversy whether it's, since we're trying to hurry things up and everything, like how is this going to affect the environment? Are certain organisms going to do better than others? Are some going to die out when they compete with ones that have been enhanced, or the ones that enhance and have faults and die? How is this going to affect it? Another thing is global warming. Agriculture has an incredible impact on global warming. For example, all the different gases that go up to the atmosphere like methane and CO2, livestock is known to have an incredible impact directly on global warming, which would be for the methane gases. And also all the different kinds of pesticides and different chemicals used can also cause a lot of that. Also, when we think about, for example, the soil, the erosion on it, because of crops, this means that soil becomes less capable of receiving energy, maintaining it, especially heat. Therefore, it's so much more like they can't really reflect the heat that well, and it just stays there. So it puts up global warming a lot. Another controversy that is thought about is the soil erosion, because it's said that because of all these chemicals, certain soils in between certain crops will like stop growing. Many of the soils will become like completely useless, no nutrients, nothing else can grow on it anymore. And finally, deforestation. This is an incredible part also of global warming, because without the trees you can't do the CO2, no change of gases. And finally, like, it's said that deforestation is 5% because of cattle ranching, 19% because of logging, 22% because of palm oil plantations, and 54% due to slash and burn farming. Therefore, we can see that agriculture obviously has a very harsh impact on the environment in general.
What is the future of agriculture? The future of agriculture will not be a pleasant one. Each person on Earth requires resources to survive, and if supply does not meet demand, we will have something called food insecurity. The number of malnourished people will increase more than 20%. The United Nations also says that agricultural production will have to increase by 70%. The demand for water also exceeds how much is available, and most of it is used for agriculture. So, to To answer the question, the future of agriculture will be filled with millions of starving Americans. And if we do not start to change now, there will be no hope for the future. We have to change our ways if we want a future for our children and for the rest of humanity.